How do you see your future? Some people plan everything ahead, but you described your career so far as a history of epic wins, things that you didn't exactly expect to be able to do, things that came naturally to you, but that you weren't aware of that you were capable of doing, and now you are. How has that changed you, and how has that changed your perspective on life? Would, say, for instance, former schoolmates when you were in high school see you differently now? And do you plan ahead much more now than you used to do in the past, maybe? How has this impacted you?
I think, well, certainly I know that people who went to high school with me would be shocked that I ever finished college, let alone ended up where I am. I was not a good student by any stretch, so I think they'd be impressed by that. But in my planning, I would say, I always look at my career in a 3 to 5 year chunk. So I kind of look at what can I do over the next 3 to 5 years that will move me to the next level. And I never think about what that next level is. I know that something good is going to come. And so I just spoke here, whatever happens after that will be another opportunity that will move me in another direction. So I try not to plan too far out. I think, when you're young, you tend to think about, in 10 years, 20 years, XYZ is going to happen. And as you get older, you get more realistic and you realize, that I can just focus on a shorter period of time that's actually manageable.
Yes, you're chair right now, and that takes 3 years. How long have you been a chair now? How long does your current chairmanship still
I
last?
started in January of 2009, so I guess I have another year and a half at the end of this semester. And that's the first appointment. And technically, I'm supposed to be able to step down at that point and just become a regular faculty member. But I'm guessing from conversations with my colleagues that they would like me to stay on. And there are a lot of irons in the fire and things that I'm working on right now that if they haven't come to fruition at the end of those 3 years, I will stay on to make sure that those things come true.
Are those irons things that you like to discuss, or are they confidential?
No, we have a new collaborative institutes on oceans, climate, and security. It links the research in my department to human and national security issues and global issues of security. I'm very excited about those opportunities, and I would like to see in 3 to 5 years that it is a strong enterprise, it is very well funded, that my faculty are engaged in those issues. They get a program back up to being nationally recognized as a strong one.
What do you mean by security? What sort of things do I have to think of?
Security, like food security, for example, and as the coastal oceans, which are their primary habitats for our juvenile seafood source, become more and more impacted by both global climate change as well as human impacts, and since so many folks are migrating to the coastal areas of the world, what impacts will climate change and ocean management have on food sources, and what could that then precipitate in terms of climate refugees, water resource management and water resource rights, things like that.
Just curious, does this involve aquaculture as well?
We actually, yes. So we're very fortunate in my department to have several folks that are focused on aquaculture policy and coastal zone management, and some folks over in our anthropology program, as well as in my department, that are going back to indigenous knowledge particularly in the Boston Harbor, looking at Native Americans actually used net pen aquaculture and trying to reestablish those practices.